Good morning, folks, from the biggest lunatic asylum in the world called Ireland, and Sean Citizen here. Um, I just woke up this morning and read the Irish Times, and I nearly choked on my coffee. It seems now that Mr. Drew Harris, our police commissioner, has added his tuppence worth to the Social Democrat leader, young lady in the Dáil, and all the people who oppose the immigrants in working class areas, hundreds and hundreds, are castigated, condemned, described as criminals. And Mr. Drew, in particular, has said that there is a big criminal element involved. Now, I don't know if this criminal element travels around the country to Skibbereen and Roscommon and Mayo and Wexford, and is a kind of a flying column to assist the few of the meek locals who are actually prepared to stand up for their communities, because it's mostly women and children actually in those protests, because the women have more concern for their daughters than, not saying that their husbands aren't, but generally it's the ladies who have a better idea of what the young daughters may be subjected to from reading the web and knowing what goes on in England and all over Europe, Scandinavia, etc. Now, I would believe maybe that the criminals in Finglas, as Mr. Drew says, we do have some very powerful drug gangs operating all over Ireland, and cocaine is easier to get and more used now than a cup of coffee, it seems, unfortunately. But that's another matter. But however, my information from my friends who live in the Netherlands and in Scandinavia is that the moment these, particularly North African and Nigerian migrants, get established in in any country in Europe, they don't care too much to work or drive a bus or whatever. They immediately establish a new route for importing drugs into the country. So the people from North Africa have established routes already into all of Europe and probably into Ireland as well. So once they have enough idlers or criminals mixed in among the economic refugees living here, I have no doubt it will facilitate them opening their businesses here for cocaine and marijuana and whatever. So I can well understand Mr. Drew's concern, because we don't want another half dozen rival gangs here in Ireland to compete with the Kinahans and whatever and all the existing ones. There would probably be turf wars, and God knows, besides our women being endangered, we would probably have an intensification of the drug wars between the aliens, the migrants, and our own indigenous criminal gangs. So, however, I think castigating the protesters is not a very sensible thing, Mr. Drew, and it's not going to do any good. And to the Social Democrats, I'm not sure it's going to help your vote either in the next election, or People Before Profit, or Sinn Féin, because I think there is a rising force around the country against this plantation of too many migrants. I'm just hoping that people will have a anti-water tax moment, and that they will come out now in force and support one another in the different communities they live in, and hold marches together, powerful, well attended marches in the big cities. Because if they don't, I can promise you, folks, your daughters will not be going into nightclubs late at night and coming home even in taxis. The criminal courts at the moment are full, and Mr. Drew just never announces this. Since last January, there's cases every week of Irish girls being assaulted one way or another, or in sometimes in taxis, and also the case against Ashling Murphy has been postponed until October now. That beautiful young girl that was murdered by an alien. Who was living here on a disability benefit and drinking every day and had 4 or 5 children, I believe, and a wife. So, anyway, maybe the reason it's been postponed from June to October is to take the heat out of the current situation and not to fan the flames of what would we call it, anti Semitism or well, I don't know, anti invasion, anti Muslim, anti whatever. Anyway, folks, I'm going back to bed. I'm up here at 6 in the morning and I want to rest. Bye.